Hey everybody, this is B from Kongzuras, and we're back at Smog City Brewery in Torrance to check on the Time Crisis 2 months later from putting it out there in the wild. The first thing I noticed is that the blue gun player 2 side, the trigger hold isn't actually working anymore. The actual functionality to keep it in place got broken somehow, so I'm not sure what happened there. So unfortunately that broke on the player 2 side, so it only does the manual recoil. The left gun though is working still the same, so you can still use the locking mechanism for the solenoid manual recoil feature. Everything else looks fine on the gun itself, although I did notice that they got kinked and pulled a little bit. I had taped them together, and so when I first tested them they weren't working, so I decided to add in this extra little knot here. That way when the kids and other folks pull it, it wouldn't get disconnected, and so that pretty much fixed that. Let's take a look at the rest of the cabinet itself to see if there's any other damage. The rest of the side art looks pretty clean for being in a public space, although there are some scuffs on the bottom, and I am now missing a screw on that bottom panel there, so that does cause some concern a little bit that was missing. The pedal itself has a little bit of scuff marks, some dirt, nothing that you wouldn't see in a public space there. The rubber is still there, doesn't really keep it from moving around much, but it is just something there to add a little bit of friction. So let's go ahead and turn it on and play some games to see how it looks and feels. Here I am testing out point blank one more time to see if anything has changed in terms of the accuracy of the game. I did have to recalibrate the guns after I got them working again. I don't know how long the guns weren't working. If you can see in this picture, I had taped up the connections to the gun wiring so that way people wouldn't pull them, but I guess they got pulled and separated a little bit, so both guns weren't working when I first got there. I was actually really worried about that, but once I uncovered them and discovered that they were just slightly pulled apart, adding in that extra knot, I did re-tie it back together. So hopefully there's no other issues here. It might be a little helpful thing if you have multiple people coming over, you don't want them to pull on a cord, do that little knot thing that I did. But after recalibrating and testing everything, as you can see here, the game is working just fine. The accuracy is still the same, so no concerns about the accuracy of the game here itself. Again, the only thing that actually broke was the player 2 locking mechanism for that solenoid feedback. And so for a game like point blank, where you do need to have a fast trigger, that is one of the ways I had recommended to play the game, is to have the locking mechanism. So unfortunately for this game, player 2, you're not going to be able to do that now. I did get a replacement gun from the folks over at Arcade1Up, so I probably will go back and replace it with a good gun just so that it's there. I was planning on keeping it there for a couple of months, but you know, I think this is a fun little experiment to see how long this game can survive in the wild in a public space. I mean, Smog City was very poppin'. It was very busy the other night. There was tons of patrons there. They have, you know, 50 to 100 people you know, at any given time in the bar walking around, kids playing stuff. So it definitely has a lot of people coming up and wanting to play with it, and even some kids that were trying to shoot each other, bang the guns around. But you can see there, they still look in good condition. The cabinet still looks like you know, whole together. We'll see how long this experiment lasts. So check out this gameplay again from point blank, looking pretty clean over the last 2 months or so. If you enjoyed this content, let me know. If you want to have me do anything else and test anything else out, let me know. Happy to do so, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.